Oh yeah. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy JFK. We're back in the building. Good to see you. What's going on? Yeah. Hope you guys are doing okay. We're back on today, man. It's been every 2 days something is happening in this country. So I was putting online, I'm still charged, for my conversation with my brother. And I told him, I said, please come on board. If he comes on, and he can drop a comment, but he's giving me enough to work with. And the conversation is about, we're having all these conversations about Donald Trump. Yes, so area BCOI in the building, my guy. If you are here, please, you know what to do. Join me now. Talk to me. Speak on this matter. The question now, you guys saw my flyer, you saw what I was going to talk about, but like I said, I have a conversation with a good friend of mine, and he brought up some good points. And so the question is, have we been fair to Donald Trump? Hey, Big Monel, yo, you're the man, man. I love you, brother. Thank you for coming on. Monel Brown, yeah, what go on, brother? What go on with you? Everything good? Listen, man, the little patois I learned from this guy, Monel. So Monel was schooling me on some stuff about Trump, and that's why I want to bring it up. And I like the way he posed it to me. Is like, are we being fair? Are we being fair on Donald Trump? It's a very legitimate question. That's one of the things I like about a platform like this, that we can have reasonable disagreements. And after that, we just go and we just have jerk chicken together and rice and peas. That's the beauty of grown-up conversation. That's why I started doing these lives, because some of the comments online, people are abusing their fathers, they are cursing out your family because you disagree. I don't like that. I like the ability to talk and to still remain friends, because we're reasonable people. We can disagree. Like some people like jollof rice, some people like fried rice. That's the whole point. So yeah, so listen, man, please, if you're here, come on, drop in, And I just want to go straight into it. So my brother Monet brought up a few points about some of the things that have been attributed to the Trump administration, and some of what things we can refer to as progressive successes for that administration, and whether or not Trump doesn't get and when we talk about Donald Trump as being a bad president, maybe we're not being honest. And the truth is, Donald Monet is not the only person, close friend of mine, brother, sister of mine, who believes that some of these things should be considered. I have a couple of my friends online. If they come in, then I can mention their names, because sometimes people don't want people to get into their political business. But I have a couple of brothers I have these conversations with, where I go on their page, they come on my page, and I'm all through the presidency, all through the campaign in 2016, we're having these arguments. And the reason I cherish these guys is I love people that I can have this conversation with, and we can be civil, and we can still be friends. I think that's the real test of maturity. I think that's the real test of a reasonable mind. And in any case, for most of these guys, many of them are Christians. So that's the real test of, can you be a Christian, a person where you can have conversations and disagreements, and it doesn't affect your ability to relate to that person, because at the end of the day, we love each other, and I love that. So I like that very much. So when they brought up a few things, let me just go right into it. For instance, we talked about the economy under Donald Trump. And one of the things that has been a point of contention is whether or not Donald Trump has done so much for the economy that he should be given credit. And I am of the opinion that for the portion of the economic growth that we have experienced under the leadership of Donald Trump, he deserves that credit. I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who thought that Donald Trump became president, took office after the inauguration on January 21st. I'm one of those who thought that on January 22nd, the next day, I thought Donald Trump would do something to destroy the economy the second day. I thought we would have a recession the second day. I thought Donald Trump would drive us back to the 11% unemployment the second day. I have to admit that he didn't do that. Donald Trump did not destroy the economy as the way I thought he would, at the speed I thought he would. That's my perspective on it. But where I had the disagreement is, people want us to celebrate Donald Trump's achievements on the economy, but they don't want to acknowledge what he inherited. And this is the thing that is upsetting to me. You cannot talk about Donald Trump's effect on the American economy without acknowledging what he took over. It was Neil Cavuto on Fox News who did a whole segment on Fox News. Neil Cavuto was one of the guys who opposed Barack Obama almost throughout the 8 years. Neil Cavuto has a video out on Fox News where he was correcting Donald Trump when Donald Trump was saying how much of an economy he built. And Neil Cavuto was explaining that you can't take credit for the economy now if you were not there in 2008. This is my beef. This is my problem when we talk about Donald Trump and the economy. Now, look at this. The same thing with the black unemployment. The same thing with black unemployment. It's the same. Look, let me tell you something. Donald Trump is a trickster, and his supporters are good at helping him hone what he's trying to say. If you notice, every time Donald Trump says something, you have people who come on TV, come on air to explain, to sanitize. Because when he says it rubbishly. But then you have people who always try to justify and make credible the incredible thing that he says. That's why when Donald Trump said we should inject bleach or LYSOL into the body, and he was asking Dr. Birx, how do we get the sun rays or heat into the body to clean that out, the lungs? People were online saying, well, you might be referring to this chemical induction system that is used for cancer patients. They were going around researching things to make him right. That's your clue that he's lying and he's wrong. If you have to do so much work to prove, to explain him, that means we have a problem. The funny thing about it, not so funny, is that Donald Trump usually disappoints his supporters, because the very next day, while they were saying he was serious and his statement was based on scientific truth, he came on TV and said, I was just saying that because of the reporters. I was just trying to tease the reporters. So you have people who have gone out to prove that Donald Trump meant it when he said we should inject LYSOL and Clorox, because LYSOL and Clorox kill the bacteria on surface. Therefore, Donald Trump, in the mind of Donald Trump, is like, if LYSOL and disinfectants can kill COVID on surfaces, how do we get that LYSOL and disinfectant to kill it in the lungs? Come on, talk to me. Let me get your comments as I'm talking about people. As you fall in, please let me know. Let me shout you out. So, so we're having this conversation about whether or not Donald Trump doesn't get enough credit. And I'm trying to explain that on some things, the problem is when you're trying to give him credit, in order to give him credit, a lot of people will have to discredit everyone that came before. That's where we will not get the agreement. You're not going to get the sign from me personally. I cannot join you to clap for Donald Trump. If clapping for Donald Trump in your world means denigrating the people that worked before him, that's precisely the problem with the economy. The economic numbers. On the day Donald Trump took office, I made it a point to put on my Facebook page, I posted right there, the current, at the time, I put on the current unemployment rate, the current GDP. I put those two things there as markers. This is what the unemployment rate is now that Donald Trump has become president. This is what the GDP is when Donald Trump as president. And I said, I put this up so that when we have this conversation later, nobody will come and change those numbers. Donald Trump took the unemployment rate. No, forget COVID. I am willing to give Donald Trump this. COVID is an X factor on economic numbers, on the stock market, on GDP. COVID is an X factor. So I break it up. Just before COVID, Donald Trump was able to bring this economy. Now you can correct me if you have better numbers, but my numbers, Donald Trump brought the unemployment number to about 3.4, 3.5. It was oscillating. This is what we're saying, it was a great economy. Now, here's my point. You're having that conversation, and none of you want to have the conversation of where he took it from. The unemployment rate when Donald Trump took office was 4.1. Was 4.1. Now, further to that explanation, the unemployment rate when Barack Obama took office in 2008 was closer to 8.99% unemployment. We were going towards 10% when Barack Obama took over. You can Google it, you can find out. And you don't need to Google, if you are here in 2008, you don't need to Google too much, because 2008 was that back crash. We all suffered it, we all experienced it, every industry. The stock, the real estate market was destroyed. So we are all there for Donald Trump's, for Barack Obama's taking over of a crashing economy. When Barack Obama took that economy from where it was to leaving office. So by the time Barack Obama was 4 years into his office, his administration had seen the crash was neutralized, it was stopped. And then there was a rebuilding. They had the economic stimulus, they had the cash for clunkers, they had all those things, and he was opposed at every point by Republicans. you know. You BC, oh, I have to be generous so that, you know, we can have this conversation and have it be, you know, as cool as possible. If I'm going to give, Donald Trump that credit, I'll give him that credit. What was the unemployment rate when Donald Trump took over? It was about 4.1. What's the unemployment rate just before COVID? It was at 3.3, 3.4, 3.5. So you know what, BCOY, for the sake of this conversation, you have to say, you should, because like I said, for someone like me who thought that Donald Trump was going to bring the employment rate back to 7, I have to give him credit. He didn't make it worse. He kept it going. I give him that credit. Donald Trump was president when unemployment rate went down to 3.5. You give him that credit. Now, you can have a deeper argument as to whether or not that's a continuation of the policies that were in place before he came into office, in which case his impact on that number could be less than it seems. But I'm willing to give him that because we can't really break it down as detailed as we want to, because it gets so nuanced, we get lost in it. So yeah, so let's give Donald Trump that 3.5. The problem is Donald Trump supporters. Okay, I love it. So this is what I'm talking about. So one of the things that was brought up when Donald Trump talked about LYSOL is radiation is used to treat cancer. I can imagine what reaction must have been to the first scientist that suggested that. And that's my point. Donald Trump was not talking about radiation to treat cancer. That is a rationalization of people who are looking for things similar to what he said. That's my problem. You see, here's my issue. Most people that support Donald Trump, listen to this, let me check. Most people that support Donald Trump are smarter than him. That's the problem. That's the fundamental issue. Most people that support Donald Trump are smarter than he is. So he says stupid things. He says dumb things because he doesn't think them through. And even if he thought them through, they would still be wrong because he's fundamentally incapable. Look, a lot of things have come to light now that have made it clear. Forget about the niece writing a book telling us this. We know this. Now, the statement about LYSOL was not a statement about radiation. That's not what Donald Trump was talking about. Because the presence of radiation and chemotherapy, all of that talks about a curation of something that is used to treat something that you can identify. When you are dealing with coronavirus that attaches itself to your lungs, that is why in some cases for cancer patients, there are some cancer situations that are not treatable because of their location and how much they have metastasized. So you having a conversation with me about radiation is deeper than what Donald Trump was talking about. Donald Trump saw LYSOL and Clorox killing coronavirus on the table, and he said, is there a way we can inject that in the body? That was a simple understanding of Donald Trump. Munir, that's right. You don't go on national TV and brainstorm medical treatments. And I disagree with you, Munir. He was not brainstorming medical treatments. You know why? In most cases, a man who is the president and who has a medical team around him, you know what you do when you're brainstorming? You ask your medical team at the meeting before the press conference. Donald Trump doesn't operate like that. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like the things we say about Donald Trump are to help those who support him. They are to help sanitize what he's saying. We have to help sanitize what he's saying and what he's doing. The real numbers, the real truth usually comes out and reveals the fact that he has no clue what he's doing or saying. And I put it to you that is why many people resign from his administration. Because the closer you get to him, the more you realize there's an emptiness there. All the generals that resigned, General Kelly, that now resign. Not only did they resigned and they started coming out on TV and telling us, yeah, this guy is crazy and he's ignorant. And people want to dismiss all of them as being bitter. You can't do that. He hired them. Donald Trump hired all these people that he later fired and he started calling names. He hired them. So if anything, if you're going to tell me that all these people that he hired were frauds and they were evil and they were conspiracists and they were part of the deep state, why does Donald Trump keep hiring deep state people? If nothing else, it proves that he doesn't have a good sense of character if he's hiring them. So either way you cut it, Donald Trump is wrong for the job. And that's where I'm going with this. Now we talk about the statistics, and I wanted to just talk about some things. Look at the reopening of schools. That's another example. Donald Trump is out here telling us to reopen schools. One of the things he's saying is that, Some other countries have reopened schools. Norway has reopened schools. Israel has reopened schools. But no one, well, I won't say no one, but the question to Donald Trump has always been, are we doing the same things that Norway did? Have we done the things that the other nations did to allow them to reopen? That's the issue. You can't say, oh, my neighbor is buying a new Benz, I'm going to buy a new Benz. The question is, what does my neighbor do? What's his occupation? What's his income? What's his credit score? How much is he willing to go into debt to look like he's rich? That may not work for me. This is what I'm saying. On the simplest level, Donald Trump continues to reveal that he's incompetent for the job. Now, uses Israel as an example. Let me share something with you, just really quick as an example. Israel is an example that they are using, that he's using, and some others are using. This is the issue. This is what Israel is doing. Israelis fear schools reopen too soon as COVID-19 cases climb. This is the kind of headline, ladies and gentlemen, that America needs to start paying attention to when we have conversations, especially in this time of COVID. This was the issue when COVID first started. Someone like me on my humble Facebook page, I was asking the question. I said, what's going on in Italy? Italy was getting bombarded by COVID. People were dying. Hospitals were overwhelmed. They were deciding who gets a ventilator and who doesn't. That's what was going on in Italy at the time. And at the time when the press here was saying COVID is coming, people were saying the press is hyping it. Donald Trump was saying we have it under control. Donald Trump was saying, no, it's only one person is not coming here, it's from China. In the meantime, COVID was taking shape in Europe. And someone like me was asking the question, is anybody watching Italy? Is anybody watching Europe? They're having a problem in Europe. I was on my Facebook page, like, why does it seem like I'm a conspiracy theorist when I'm saying, all I'm saying is look at Italy. Italy is not a third world nation. This was back in February, March. COVID was ravaging Italy. In the meantime, instead of us to look at that and say, that's an example, let's pay attention, we were busy saying, oh, don't worry about it. We have it under control. It will never come here. Kayleigh McEnany, who's now the press secretary for Donald Trump, who's now on TV defending Donald Trump, said on TV that Donald Trump will not allow COVID to come to America. Google that joint. I don't have time to put up all the videos, but it's been reported on some. She was on live TV on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Kayleigh McEnany promised that she believed in Donald Trump so much that she believed that Donald Trump would never let COVID come to America. We find out that as she was speaking, COVID was already in America. Again, people who defend Donald Trump are smarter than him, but they overestimate his own intelligence. And so that's why he disappoints them when the reality shows up. Everyone has resigned. General Mattis, General Kelly, Mr. ExxonMobil guy, forget his name. All of them, they come to a realization very quickly that, oh my goodness, he doesn't know what he's doing. Deborah Birx was looking on the floor when Donald Trump was talking about LYSOL. Let me tell you something, Munir. If Donald Trump's statements had any credibility with regards to radiation, trust me. No, you can argue with me. Trust me, Deborah Birx would have found a way to work that into the conversation. Do you know what she worked in instead? She said, maybe the body gets a fever when the virus is in the body. It's the body's way of trying to fight, and the antibodies. She tried to make it seem like the fever in the body is the body's own generated heat. In other words, let's not talk about bringing additional heat from outside. That's the best she could do, Munir. She knows about radiation. These are top scientists. These are top doctors. Deborah Birx, for all we can tell, was the one who was closest to Donald Trump in terms of trying to make him happy. Deborah Birx was considered different from Anthony Fauci. You notice that every time people attacked Fauci, they didn't attack Deborah Birx the same way. Come on, y'all. If you're here, drop a line. Let me know you're here, man. My people, it's your boy, JFK. It's a Friday situation. You notice that Deborah Birx was never treated the same way as Fauci. When they were talking about fire Fauci, Fauci's a liar, Fauci's just trying to make money. Notice they put Deborah Birx in different categories because Deborah Birx was trying her best to be in step with Donald Trump. So people were like, all right, cool. Deborah Birx is good, Fauci's bad. Now what happened in the last week? Deborah Birx came out and started saying America's in worse shape now and it's going to get worse. All of a sudden, Donald Trump turns on Deborah Birx. And you're going to see people now turn Deborah Birx into another Fauci. You see what I'm trying to say? Smart people always get disappointed by this man because they begin to realize that he doesn't know what he's doing or saying. And they become tired of trying to help him understand. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I bring that up and say, look, they say we should open schools. Let me read this headline to you. Israelis fear schools reopen too soon as COVID-19 cases climb. Now, look at this. In Israel, outbreaks in schools and had infected at least 1,335 students and 691 staff by Monday since the opening in early May. Monero, that's the opposite. Monero is the opposite. You're too smart for Donald Trump. So you are looking for a smart answer. Boom. That's it. That's precisely my point, bro. All the people I know personally who support Donald Trump are the smartest people I know. That's why I engage in arguments with them. Honestly, that's why I'm having a conversation. You know what I would do if I didn't think that, if I thought that you were arguing with me and you were just not coming from a place of reason, I would just not engage. I would just say, it's your opinion. That's your opinion, bro. You're entitled to your opinion. That's my standard response for people when I was trying to say, look, your support of Donald Trump is just, this. No, you're having a good conversation. Now you say, so listen, the results are clear. It is the result. Now, okay, let's go policy. One of the policy decisions that Donald Trump made was to close down a large portion of the NIH that dealt with infectious diseases, particularly the part of that department that dealt with those diseases abroad. That was a policy decision. At the time he did, it was considered those who supported him a smart conservative decision, that he was saving money and reducing the size of government. Just to let you know, I understand the rationale for supporting that. But the other side of that, when he did that, it was almost like he was gambling and hoping that he would never need those scientists on the wall in those countries. So so let's talk about results, Munir. Let's talk about results. The results we have today, why America looks worse than all her superpower nations, colleagues, on the issue of coronavirus, is the result of a policy decision to reduce the people on the wall to watch out for such a disease as this. That's an example of a policy decision gone wrong. A policy decision that was made concerning how to treat migrant children and their parents led to the kids in cages. Let me explain that. Let me explain to you how I understand the rationale behind it too. The rationale behind it is to disincentivize parents who, upon finding out that if they arrive in America illegally, they will be separated from their children, and that will keep them from coming. So I get it. We need to have this conversation with the understanding that I get the intention sometimes. And you can't, here's the issue. Here's the issue. The 94% negative coverage from SMA, all information should give a cause for problem. No, you know why it won't? You get what you give. Bro, it's not rocket science. Explain this to me. Before Donald Trump ran for office as president, how did he become a celebrity, bro? Mainstream media. Come on. He became great because of these guys. He literally won the election because of them. He didn't have to spend money because he's very entertaining. That's not the problem. Boom, that's not the problem. You and I know about Donald Trump because of media. He has manipulated media all his life. He manipulated Forbes to make him look richer than he is. Come on now. Something happened to lead to the negative reviews, bro. And if you believe the mainstream media, believe Fox. Believe Fox News on this issue. You notice how he's attacking Fox now? Fox turned on him. You know why? You give him positive reviews, but he will disappoint you with negative behavior. This is math, bro. This is math. It might give me cause or might give me a pause if I didn't know what he was doing and saying. You can't do negative things and complain about negative coverage. Come on now. Come on. Munir, is there anyone in the world that the media is not ready to turn on once there's a negative situation about? Look, they're talking about Bill Clinton. When the Monica Lewinsky thing came out, before that, he was the darling of most people. When Monica, bro, Obama built cages for whom? For whom? He wasn't designed to separate the children from their parents. Now think about this. The cages you're talking about, the first time that they were built was part of an appeasement to the Republicans. Guess what time he built the cages and deported most illegals? The time he was trying to get DACA passed. Bro, Obama did those things as a compromise. Doesn't mean he was right, but it is because he did those things that some Republicans were able to go along with him on some of the immigration reforms he made. Obama's presidency, maybe you're forgetting this. 6 years of Obama's presidency was done under the shadow of Mitch McConnell and John Boehner. He couldn't get anything passed, bro. That's why Trump was able to reverse most of everything Obama did, because most of what he did was done in executive orders, because he couldn't get anything passed. Come on now, we were here for Obama's presidency, right? John Boehner, and the caucuses that he had, the Tea Party caucus, and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell denied him a Supreme Court justice pick. Why are we going to pretend like we don't know this history? Then Donald Trump. Don't forget what I told about continuity. Donald Trump, you want to give Donald Trump credit for taking Obama's 4.1 unemployment to 3.5, but you want to extricate him from taking the cages that Obama built and start using it on steroids to cage children. You see where the argument is a losing argument for you. You can't do that. You can't do that. If you're going to give him credit for the things he expanded, then you got to give him the blame for the things that he steroidized. He put it on steroids. And that's what I'm telling you. Obama got flack from the Latino community for his deportations. He deported. He was deporting them so he could show that he was tough on illegal immigration, which is what paved the ground for him to make the little gains he made on immigration reform. I was there for that, bro. I was there for that. And so when you're talking about this man, you're talking about, 94% coverage. Did you realize that because of this thing you're saying, oh, he gets a bad rap, Donald Trump, they clap for Donald Trump every time he sounds like a person now. Every time Donald Trump says something remotely decent, this same MSM go out and say, well, the president has made a turn today. No, bro. He's a horrible dude. It's the fact. And everyone who tries to sanitize him and make him look good gets disappointed and gets removed. Some of the people around him go to jail. His businesses were all about bankruptcies, man. There was a post I put up in 2017, and I asked a question. I said, how do you declare bankruptcy on a presidency? I had no clue it was going to be this bad. The policies, the trade war is a policy. It's the dumbest thing in economics. And what makes it worse is that it was done with no sense of something like a pandemic coming in and making it worse. He started the trade war with China, never got a conclusion to it. Farmers have lost their farms. The few ones that have their farms are suffering because COVID is destroying everything. By the time we're out of this thing, so many farmers will be done. So the bankruptcy filing in the farming community has gone up. I checked it out because I expected it when he started this trade war. So I went back and looked at it. The steel industry, he was going to give them the tariffs. The tariffs were supposed to help the steel industry. He destroyed that industry because most people ended up buying their steel from outside America. Because the tariffs he was putting on was focused in a way to make sure that the steel industry in America could be the ones to sell steel. But nobody thought about capacity, bro. Math, economics. Come on. Didn't think about capacity. You stopped foreign steel to boost American production, but you didn't do it in a way where American production was ready to receive the influx of demand before you close the door. They did the same thing in Nigeria, bro. They stopped the imports of foreign rice and all that, but he didn't pay attention to the local growing of rice to make sure that when the demand came, the supply would meet it. You and I, come on, man. We know how things are supposed to work. We know how they're supposed to work. That's why it's not, I don't think it works to defend him, because you're defending him based on what you know, which is infinitely higher than what he does. That's the fundamental issue here. He, as president, does not know what to do right now about COVID. He's clueless. But defenders of Donald Trump have ideas. Some of them say, let's have herd immunity. Let's all get sick, and then the disease will have nowhere else to spread. Except that, are we ready to deal with the number of people that will die when we get sick? Is that okay with us? What death toll is going to be good for us before we're okay with the herd immunity concept, which is not working, by the way. Because many of the states that kind of did that and said, open up everything, don't worry about wearing masks, they're running back inside, shutting the door, and mandating masks now, which is a little late for a lot of people. Again, the policy, right? The policies, in many cases, they sound like something good, but you drill down, you find out there's no substance to it. There's no substance to it. His Muslim ban was rejected twice by the Supreme Court before he got it right. Why? When he first initiated it, nobody thought about all the objections that the court could raise. Some lawyers quit the Trump administration because they realized they can't work with him. They can't work with him. And that's my issue. So people defend it because very smart people defend him, but the level of defense doesn't match the reality of man. And COVID is the biggest example. Someone like me, I've been arguing about the problem of Donald Trump for a while, and I stopped after a while because I realized I wasn't getting anywhere. Because if you don't like him, you don't like him. If you like him, you like him. But I was trying to cut through that and say there's some objective things that we will observe that will make it clear that he's not right for the job. At the time, I didn't know it was going to be COVID. Let me tell you something about coronavirus. Donald Trump is not responsible for coronavirus, and I said that. He's responsible for the response to it. That's where he's failed. That's where he's failed. That's where his incompetence has come to light. That's how come we realize that, oh my goodness, he doesn't know what to do. And the worst part of it, he's the kind of person who will never admit when he's wrong. That's the other problem with your man. He will never come back and say, nah, I was wrong. He's going to pretend like he was right the whole time. Meanwhile, 150,000 Americans are dead. And trust me, I know people are going to tell me, oh, those numbers are inflated. And I've challenged all those people every time they say that. You think 150,000 Americans dead is inflated? What's the real number? I'm here. Is it 20,000? Is that okay with you? 10,000 Americans? Is that okay with you? 9/11 was about 3,000 something, about more than 3,000 Americans. And the whole nation, the whole world changed. So tell me, even if it was inflated, what's the real number? And then let's talk about that real number and talk about Trump's responsibility for starting us off by telling us it was one person and it was going to be okay. And then he told us he had it under control. And he said it was one person from China and he blocked off China. Meanwhile, coronavirus was coming in from Europe. You can't argue with reality. That's the unfortunate, but it's unfortunate, but it's true. In March, in April, little old me with so many other people, I was on my page saying, why are you asking places to reopen without a plan? They were asking states, governors were saying they're going to reopen, and Fauci was saying, don't reopen if you don't meet the guidelines. It was a simple argument. Don't reopen if you're not going to make everyone wear masks. Don't reopen if you don't flatten your curve to a certain number. Don't reopen if your hospitals are not ready for what would happen if there's a second wave or a spike. Fauci was vilified for that. Fauci was called names for that. And now we have a president coming here telling us it is what it is. Of course, that's all he can say because he has no solution. He has no solution. It is what it is. That's all he can say. He has no plan. And that's why America hasn't finished the first wave of coronavirus. when other nations are beginning to deal with the spikes in their second wave? It's the incompetence. The policies and the personality are one. This attempt to divorce his personality from his policies doesn't work because they're intertwined. The reason you know this is because those that worked on policy for him keep resigning. They're resigning. They leave his office. Those that remain because they're willing to just say yes to whatever he wants. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. The negative reviews you see, the negative press coverage you're seeing is a result of the negativity. He gives out negativity. And then people want to be surprised when he has a negative response to it. If you write a bad book and you get reviews that your book is bad, it's not the reviews. You wrote a bad book. Donald Trump has led America to where it is right now because he's just wrong for the job. And every time people want to defend him, they end up defending him with stuff that they would do and that they would say and that they're reading from the quote unquote policy decisions. But they never defend him based on what he's doing. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. The reason why he's getting flack for 2018, he lost 2018 with the congressional elections. He lost so many people in the suburbs because of the kids in cages. Most of those people would never even consider leaving him. It's what he did. Do you realize that the Homeland Security chief that was the head of that whole period, Christine Nielsen, do you realize that she got fired? Because she was beginning to tell us that she had told them that let's not do this. His attorney general announced the beginning of this process, bro. That's why people don't listen when you say Obama did it. No, because they did a press conference telling us they're about to start zero tolerance. We weren't here for it. This is the problem, Manair. One of the problems also is that we having this conversation is based on two different fact patterns. We're getting our facts from different places. Unfortunately, and fortunately, for one side or the other, the truth comes out. The left administration started telling us how she was telling them not to do it. So they were doing something that she was telling them not to do. That's why the kids ended up in cages. My people, if you're here, jump in, man. Me and my boy having this conversation, man. If you're here, jump in. Let me see. I know it's a Friday night. Everybody's doing their own thing. But we're having this conversation because I'm trying to come to that point where I say giving Donald Trump credit requires being truthful about what he's really doing. And what he's really doing is that he's taking the fabric of this nation, dragging it all the way down. And for every point of quote unquote success you want to give him, you have to look at the other side. I had this argument with somebody who told me it was good the way he's cutting off from the WHO. Are we better off? Is America doing better in COVID? People report what they believe. But the facts come in. Unfortunately, sometimes they come in too late. Come on, man. I'm so frustrated with how clear some of these things are and how much we're still having this conversation. Because in many cases, I was speaking, many people were speaking, I was posting. Exactly. I was posting about some of these things, way before some of them happened. I don't have a crystal ball or just looking at facts on ground. The trade war was a stupid idea. It was dumb. It was dumb when he started it. At the beginning, most Republicans told him not to do it, but later on, like lemmings, they followed him. But everyone knew it was dumb. And I tell you something else that Donald Trump does to make people feel like he's doing something. Donald Trump likes to restate a problem, right? I give him credit for this. He knows how to identify problem areas in this country. The problem with that is, after he identifies the problem, his solution makes the problem worse. People are still clapping for the fact that he said the problem out. They don't pay attention to what he's proposing as a solution. The Muslim ban. We have terrorism. Bombs are going off. People are killing from the Middle East are coming to America, to the West. They're committing atrocities. They're calling themselves Muslims. And Trump says, we need to ban all Muslims till we know what's going on. Yeah, we have a situation. There are some problem spots in the world where we need to focus on and, you know, determine who's killing us, who's coming over. Yes, he identified the problem, but his solution was to ban all Muslims, not realizing that in the FBI and the CIA, Homeland Security, there are Muslims everywhere. And you're asking them to help you keep all their people out of the country, instead of focusing on the ones for which they have intelligence about criminal activity, terrorist activity, and focus on those and catch those guys like they were doing before Trump came over, and catch them before they did the act. That's an example. Trump states a problem and people cheer him as a leader because he states a problem. That China is cheating economically, he's not the first to discover that. He's not even the first person to say it. I like that, Monero. What are your thoughts about Biden yesterday said about blacks? Biden was stupid to say that. That was dumb. That's what I posted. I posted today. I'm like, Joe Biden needs to stop. Joe Biden, I said it earlier. I said, look, I'll be honest about Joe Biden. For me, in a normal world, in normal America, in a normal America, Joe Biden is not my first, second, third, or fourth choice. Bruh, if nothing else, I want a new feeling. I want a fresh face. I want something different. It could be young, it could be a woman, it could be African American, it could be any race, just fresh, different. You know? No, he was wrong. He was also wrong. Nah, bro, he was wrong. It was stupid because it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? If what he was saying was correct, then you could defend it. Then you could come back and justify it. You can explain it away. But he was wrong and it was stupid. And this is not the first time either, Manere. He's the same guy who said, oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. That was stupid. That was wrong. That was offensive. That should have cost him the nomination and election. Boom. But here's my point, Manere. The reason why Biden can be so wrong and say something so stupid and so wrong and still maybe lead in the polls, we'll see tomorrow, is because Donald Trump is much more wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem. Donald Trump is so wrong that a Joe Biden can say so many stupid things and still everybody's like, yeah, but we're going to vote for him over Trump. Because Biden's statements up until now, as horrible, as wrong, as bad, none of them have led to the deaths, as we can tell, of 150,000 Americans. You may argue with me about foreign policy decisions under the Biden-Obama administration, how we kill people. I can have that conversation with you. But if our conversation is about the American election, where Americans are voting, 150,000 dead Americans is bad on anybody's resume, bro. So if you're running against a guy who's president while 150,000 Americans die, you say a lot of stupid stuff and you might still win. Don't get me wrong. I'm in this country, you know. No, you see, so I like that, man. You see, that's why I like you, man. We can engage in all kinds of things. BCOY, he was wrong, right? But you know, VP lets me know what's next. Yo, I'm saying, like, yeah, we're gonna go through some stuff, but none of it is gonna be 100. I mean, hopefully, none of it's gonna be like this. Now, Monet, let's talk about this. I like what you brought up. He was wrong, and some people think it was racist, but there's some element of truth, though. I don't think it's true because when you measure diversity of opinion among Latinos and Latinos, and you look at how they have a diverse perspective on the political makeup of this country, you also have to understand that 90% of Americans voting Democratic is not it does not explain the fact that within that 90% there's a diversity of opinion. And that's why he's wrong. And I like that you brought this up, bro. We can all have different opinions politically, but when we're left, now listen to this, we're left with two political parties to choose from. All of our diversity, or most of our diversity, will have to take a back seat. Listen to this, to what becomes the most essential parts of our shared concerns. Let me rephrase that. You and I can be diverse on many things, politically, religiously, culturally, everything else. But there are situations that force us to make decisions on some particular issues in common. That's what you're getting. And that's why I think it's always a dangerous conversation. Dangerous, I mean, politically and socially, when people say, oh, 90% of African Americans vote Democrats, and you want to insinuate somehow that that's because they're not aware, or they're not woke, or they're not thinking, or they're just like lemmings. And you have to be entirely wrong for that, because maybe you're the one who's not paying attention to what they're saying by voting that way. You see what I'm saying? Because you talk to those individuals who are within that 90%, you'll find a diversity of opinion. So I can believe that Democrats don't look out for Black people. It's a valid belief. Maybe the Democratic mayor or the Democratic congressman in my area has not been good for us. I can believe that. I can understand that. But I can also understand that the Republican alternative will be worse. You see what I'm saying? That's where the math. I mean, you shouldn't. You see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say you and I can have this conversation where we can have that conversation and not call each other names. That's being reasonable. Because I can understand where that I understand you when you say that. Think about it. I'm an immigrant. I come from Nigeria. I come into this country. I see the political setup. I see Democrats. I see Republicans. I see some ways in which Republicans may be doing some things that I personally gravitate towards. Maybe I'm with them on some social issues. And I see Democrats, maybe I'm with them on some economic issues. But then at the end of the day, I have to decide who has the larger percentage of things that might work for me. You're talking about Democrats having support of 90% of African Americans. Look at the makeup of the Democratic leadership. What's happening? Something's happening where they have more minority members. So that's only going to lead to more minority support. Because whether or not you want to admit it, more representation is a better option for change than less representation. So if I look on the Republican side and I notice who's running for office in the Republican Party, where are they coming out of? If it's mostly if it's mostly white people, white men, that's a clue as to who's speaking for me on those podiums. Who's likely to speak for me on that platform? Who's likely to understand? So that's it. So when you see Black people supporting the Democratic Party, supporting Democrats, there's a reason for it. And I like the fact that you say you don't believe that, but many people say it. Many people say that, oh, Black support for Democratic parties is ignorant. It's uninformed. And I challenge them to say, look into the midst of the 90% who support a Black Democratic Party and tell me that all those people, none of them have the intellectual ability to understand what's good for them. And so here's one of the things. Close to 2,000 Black babies aborted daily. Bro, who's aborting the babies? Democrats? Come on now. What are we talking about? A person goes for an abortion is the person deciding to have the abortion. Don't blame them. Don't look at a political party and say they're the reason. You're questioning that individual's choice. Question that individual. Don't put that on the party. That's where this gets twisted. A person decides to do something. Now, you want to say, oh, Democrats support it. What the Democrats support is a world in which people get to decide. Now, here's my thing. I personally would rather a world where no one aborts. And my challenge has been to those of us who say we don't want abortions, what are we doing to avoid them? What are we doing to take care of unwed mothers? What are we doing to take care of women who find themselves pregnant? They don't want to be pregnant. What avenues are we making available? If we really cared, the church, for instance, likes to talk about this. I've said this before. If the church really cares, the church will be at the forefront of adoption. The church will be at the forefront of taking care of women that have unwanted pregnancies. You'll give more options. You win more of the fight there than going to bomb abortion clinics. And so when you now Christians who hate abortion have gone out and killed abortion doctors. Oh yeah, that's right. That's going to be the one that shows us to be believers. You say 75% of Planned Parenthood and black communities. Why? 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 What's your answer to that? Because Democrats just want black people to die? You got to finish it logically. Why? Why? No, tell me why you say that. You've said 70% of Planned Parenthood in black communities, 70% of Planned Parenthood, 70% of McDonald's, maybe 50% of Burger Kings and liquor stores. Guess what? People in those communities have limited options for care. You start with that. You start with that. So Planned Parenthood does, look, no, you're the one who brought it up, so you have to tell me what it means. You got to tell me what it is. You have a conclusion. Obviously, you've done the research. What's the conclusion? You see, I like people throwing out the stuff and not giving me the motive. Why? Why are there 70% of Planned Parenthood in black communities? Because they want to kill black people? Right? And so the black people that go to those Planned Parenthood clinics, what are they? Sheep to the slaughter? None of them can think. Give me a conclusion. If you don't want me to make one up for you, because what you're saying is leading to a particular place. The conversation is leading me to a particular place. Black self-genocide. There you go. Listen to that statement. Black self-genocide supported by liberal political parties. To whose benefit? To whose benefit? And I guess the black people who support Democratic parties, why don't they know that they're being self-genocidal? Or why are they self-genocidal? They don't like themselves. All 90% of them? It's not logical. It's not logical. That's where the disconnect happens. Because you now have to tell all those people who support Democratic leaders, for some reason, they're supporting black self-genocide, supporting political policies. That's where you have to end up, and that cannot be true. You and I are having this conversation as black people. I don't know. I'm not self-genocidal. I don't know anyone who is. I don't know anyone who is. That means that there's an oversimplification going on. If you're equating Planned Parenthood with genocide, it's skipping all the parts of Planned Parenthood that does gynecological tests for women, that gives them all kinds of things for their issues in terms of women's health, as if they do nothing else, but everyone who walks into Planned Parenthood just gets their baby beheaded. That's the picture you're painting, and that's not the true picture. And that's why your perspective on it will always contradict what's happening. Because you should be having that conversation with the women that go, with the men and women that go into Planned Parenthood. How about you talk to them? Ask them if they're self-genocidal. Ask them why they're supporting the liberal political policy. Trust me, they're going to tell you that's not what's going on. So this is my problem. It's projection. It's projection. 90% support of the Democratic Party is not based on ignorance. It's only you can project it like that, but I guarantee you that if there's a Republican who's able to do the things that black people want, that they need in their, he might get support from black people. That's the issue here. That's the issue here. Don't forget, the most liberal people, listen to this. This is where, let me burst that bubble. Let me burst that balloon. The most liberal candidates ran in the primaries this year. Joe Biden is considered by the liberal wing of the Democratic Party as the most middle-of-the-road, milquetoast Democrat there is. He's considered a sellout, a corporate sellout. Guess who put him over? Black people. And I'm telling you this, if they were just looking for more blackness, or they were looking for more liberal policies that they can practice self-genocide, they would have gone for some other options. They would have gone they didn't do that. They're practical, they're pragmatic. Many of them have come out and they've told pollsters why they voted for Biden in primaries. They did the math. They figured it was likely to win enough white votes to win the White House. They just did math, bro. They do math. Black people do the math. I said it before. Who lives in African American communities? Of the two political parties, a leader who's elected from that neighborhood is likely to be what? A member of that neighborhood. That means that you have more Democrats living, for instance, in urban areas. So if urban residents vote for a Democrat as their representative, you're going to look at them and say, "Oh, they're just voting against their interests." But you're not asking yourself, where is the Republican in that area? They're not there. The divide is already there. The divide already exists. Black people are making choices based on what's available. And that's the thing. And that's why you will never be able to convince enough African Americans to switch until you show that you care. That's for Republicans. Republicans have no signal that they care about communities of color. That's the problem. They're always talking down to community of color. Even when they propose solutions, it's like proposing solutions for them over there. It's not comprehensive. Bro, you're saying it's happening, but I'm telling you it's anecdotal. It's not happening because it will require you to conclude that this 90% support that Democratic Party enjoys from African Americans is based on ignorance. This is the thing. Unfortunately for you and I, fortunately, we know too many people who are not ignorant. There are too many of us who are not. I'm just giving you a breakdown. I'm somebody who ends up supporting a Democratic candidate because I've come to the understanding that Republican policies do not consider minority communities a priority. That's the issue. You're limiting it down to Planned Parenthood. I'm looking at what it takes when it comes to education. Betsy DeVos is in there destroying. Oh yeah, good. I like this one. I took care of this one last week. The worst run cities in America are not all Democrat run, because in Kentucky somewhere there are horrible cities, but nobody talks about them because they're in Kentucky. That's the problem. The reason you hear about New York and Detroit and Chicago is because they're the largest ones, bro. That's the problem. You need to break it down. You got to go into the nuance. Cities are hard to run. Who runs cities? Democrats. Why? That's where they live. The big cities, we're talking about the urban areas, because the population in those places are bigger than all the other places. It's math. Look at Texas, a Republican state. If you look at the cities, Houston, the biggest cities, they lean liberal. They lean liberal because what happens when you live in an urban area, overcrowded because everybody wants to be there? That's the first thing that you won't admit. It's crowded because everybody wants to be there. And some people are forced to be there because Jim Crow, segregation, this has been designed. And so now you have people living in neighborhoods where they have no resources, and someone is expected to now, you're not going to blame the Democrat who ran for office to try to make it better because he's running a city that's run down. The city was run down before he ran for office. It's designed to be run down from Jim Crow, from racism, from redlining. This is the whole point. And that's why this conversation cannot start with, oh, the worst cities are run by Democrats. Yeah, they're the only ones who live in those cities. They're the ones who live in urban areas. They're the ones who care enough to live there, bro. Your boys, the Republicans, are always out there somewhere, man, in the nice houses. They're never in the city. That's the whole point. And so, and the fallacy of that is also Appalachia in America. Non-Democrat cities, Republican-run cities. Republican-run cities, bro, suffering. They collect the most Medicaid. They collect the most assistance, but it's not spoken of. It's quiet. They make it look like black people are the ones collecting food stamps. But they give all the subsidies to the farmers in Iowa. That's a subsidy. That's a food stamp. But you're not going to put that in that category, right? You talk about the worst run cities, and they happen to be the center of all that's good with America, right? Because New York City, hey, Democrat, New York City is the commercial center of this country. And there's a reason, because New York City can handle it. California as a state, LA, San Francisco, they get bashed for being the worst. They have the largest economies. They have the largest economies, bro. They're the most populated. When you call them run down, what you're saying is that they're overwhelmed. Why? Because people live there. Because a lot of people are clustered in a big place. Go to any country in the world. If you have a center of the population where there's overpopulation, that city will struggle more than a small town of 2,000 people that everybody knows everybody. That's the thing. It's a fallacy. It's a false argument. That's what I'm saying. You can't dismiss redlining, Jim Crow. You create ghettos, and then you talk about how ghettos are run down. Are you kidding? That's what I'm saying. They deny the existence of slavery. Tom Cotton just told us that slavery was a necessary evil. The founding fathers thought of slavery as a necessary evil. That was his argument for not teaching about slavery in schools. Come on. So this is the thing that blows my mind. You want to have a conversation about rundown cities? You better start the conversation from the slave ships that came from Africa, so you can have a full picture of why some cities are run down. I'll give you a beautiful example. Just during this COVID, there was a conversation in the Congress about stimulus payments, about assistance and aid to states. And Mitch McConnell was mouthing off about how he doesn't think that they should give money to New York because New York was the center of the epidemic at the time. And Governor Cuomo had to correct him and say, New York pays more in taxes to the federal coffers than Kentucky. Kentucky gets more back than it pays. That's what's really going on in America. The subsidies are being given to all these places, but then you want to blame cities for being run down. You're running them down. You take away everything that works for the city, and then you blame the mayor of that city for it being run down. It's a fallacy. It doesn't have a leg to stand on. Like Femi said, it's like you cannot be the beneficiary of an unjust system. You cannot create an unjust system, put people in a position where they can't help, they can't even do anything for themselves, and then turn around and point at them for not doing anything themselves. That's cruelty. Plus, this thing is patently unrealistic. You see, this is what I'm talking about with Donald Trump. Bro, Donald Trump is always using this thing, this half-truths. Thank you, bro. Truths that are, I said it, oh my goodness, my last show, I started by saying this. One of the marks of a very strong conspiracy theory is that it starts with a dash of truth before it launches into a web of lies. That's why you can tell a lie and it sounds true, but soon we go into it, we find out it's a lie. That's what Donald Trump does. Example, the testing that we're doing in America is the reason why we have a lot of cases. The truth, the testing in America is revealing the cases we have that are being tested. The lie, the testing is not the cause of the cases. Testing only identifies existing cases. And as a matter of fact, because you're not testing enough, there are more cases that you're not catching. Separate the testing and the cases it reveals from who's showing up at the hospital. The cases that are being recorded at the hospital of people coming in with respiratory failure from COVID, the cases and the people that are dying in the hospitals, it's not the result of the testing. But Donald Trump says it like that. We have cases because of testing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it has a tinge of truth. It's the same thing when people say, oh, democratically run cities are the worst. Like what? New York City? You take New York City out of this country, see how much it stands. What are you talking? You need New York City in America. What are we talking about? Worst run? New York City endured the brunt of the financial collapse. New York City endured 9/11. Still standing, baby. Worst run? Try again. Try again. It's not how it works. That's not the math. Urban areas, more populated, therefore resources are more scarce. That's math. It's happening in Lagos, Nigeria. It's part of, a friend of mine is in Accra, Ghana. That's why some people are talking about moving out to the outskirts. Hey, Tasha, what's going on? Me and Munir having a good chat over here. Yeah, catching up with my brother, Munir Brown. Femi, that's what's up, man. Yo, Femi, yo, Femi's in the building. Pastor of life, of Alpha. Listen, Femi, yeah. Thank you, Femi. This worst run cities, you take California and Los Angeles, take them out of America, bro. Just take them out because they're Democratic good run states and city. Take them out. Take New York out of America. Take Detroit out of America, even in its worst day. Even now, even in the Motor City, even in the struggle that the Motor City has now, still, it is a backbone of this nation. It contains the hope of a resurgence of manufacturing in this country. Bro, but Monet, you got to admit, I've been giving you that, you know, I'm putting your comments up, man. What I'm putting at you, though, is the fact that we're operating from two different plates. When you say you're in the 10%, what I want to let you know is that number is shrinking because Republicans are coming out against Trump. Do you know that, bro? You know what I mean? Yo, you know, Republicans, go on YouTube. There are more ads now by Republicans against Trump than Democrats. The DNC is slacking. The Democratic National Party is slipping, man. They're not even working right now. Lincoln Project, veterans against Trump. Bro, Republicans everywhere on YouTube talking about how upset they are with Donald Trump. This is bigger than just this is bigger than just the back and forth like, oh, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. Everybody's realizing that this guy is bad for us. Everybody knows it now. It's no longer just, you know, oh, we bash it. No, I can be quiet now because life is revealing everything I've been trying to say. In 2017, I said, how do you declare bankruptcy on the president? That's bold. When it says Trump will get 20% of the black vote minimum. Let's watch. Let's go. I love that. I love that. I love it. Yeah, yo, I've known you're always strong, man. You never half step it, my brother. You never half step. Yeah, let's do that. Let's check back in November, bro. And the funny thing is, I can't sit here and say you're wrong about that. I can't say because I'm shell shocked enough because you're right about how we were surprised in 2016. I'm still surprised he's president. So I'm gonna be humble this year. If I said it if the polls show Donald Trump losing the polls, if the polls show, for instance, that Joe Biden is ahead of Donald Trump, 75% to 25%, I am not gonna listen to those polls. I'm not gonna listen to those polls because America can surprise you. But I do know if America is thinking straight, though, America will not allow this man another 4 years. If nothing else, you got to try someone else when you're dying. Come on, America. In the immortal words of President LYSOL, what have you got to lose by trying someone else? Because right now, you're dying at 1,000 people a day. That's not success. America's not great again, bro. America's rubbish right now. America's kind of rubbish. Because nobody can understand how America hasn't figured it out. It's not the America we know. The America the world knows would have figured out how to take care of coronavirus. Femi, you're right. As a 2000 for yesterday, messing up the average. Bro, the polls are not a joke. No, bro. No, the polls are not a joke. What's a joke is that people will give the presidency to a man who's been bankrupt 4, 5, 6 times and expect anything different from their economy. That's the joke. Unfortunately, those who decided anyone's dying now. That's the sad part. I mean, it's sad anybody's dying, but look, people are dying, even though they some of the people that are dying are people who say, don't vote for this man. He's horrible for America. It's clear. We've lost our standing all over the world. We're no longer in the WHO. We're not in the Paris Agreement. We're a pariah at the United Nations. They laughed at Donald Trump at the G7. Come on now. Bro, my news sources are multiple. AP, The Guardian UK, all right? New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal is very pro-Trump, all right? Fox News, thank you, Femi. Fox News right now is my source with Chris Wallace. So what are your sources now? Because I've mentioned 5 sources, and I've not mentioned what you expect, CNN, MSNBC. They'll follow up. I'm going away from that because I know that's the usual attack. The New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Oh, and as a 2 days ago, the National Review, conservative National Review, writing a scathing op-ed against Trump because he's talking about delaying the elections. That National Review. That's my point, bro. Everybody now agrees. It's no longer just CNN, bro. It's no longer just CNN. This is the thing that upsets me. We'll be talking about coronavirus, and somebody's going to be telling me that CNN is the one that's causing it. Before it came to America, it was destroying Italy. CNN did not cause coronavirus in Italy. Bro, tell me, what's your source? For real. I'm giving you Chris Wallace, Neil Cavuto. I'm just giving you names of actual anchors on Fox News that I just watched their videos, bro. Because I want to take you away from what you're expecting. I've always, look, this is not just me talking today. I've been posting for a long time. One of the things I've always advocated is multiple news sources so you can distill the truth. I've always been a believer that you take a bit from here, a bit from there, and see what's true in the middle. That's what I've worked on. That way you can sieve out biases. That's my point. And so when I'm telling you my news sources, I mean it, because I don't rely on one. Because guess what? You know this, man. We went to school together. We went to school, man. We learned a lot. We went to John Jay for criminal justice, bro. Statistics, data, how to make sure you're getting the right information, how to work out biases. They taught us this. And then I went to, for law school, legal reasoning, logic. How you a lawyer and you can remove emotions and focus on the case, the evidence, what's provable, what you can persuade. Maybe that training has helped me. So don't put me in that category of people who just want to jump on and say what I saw on CNN. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about verifiable facts. And besides, let me, in defense of outlets like CNN right now, for those who always try to bash CNN, since we were children, CNN has been the one giving good news, strong news. You know, CNN has been there. Yo, talk to me, Monel. What's going on? CNN, everybody bashing CNN like CNN just woke up when Trump became president. CNN has been there, bro. And one of the reasons why CNN will continue to be there, people want to report on stuff. They don't have the resource. CNN has the resources, man. You want to cover a war? Send a correspondent. Let them get embedded with the soldiers. When your network embeds a reporter with the soldiers in bulletproof vests, getting shot at a war zone, talk to me about whether or not you're a news source. Come on, man. Why are we acting like we don't know what it means to be professional in all our fields? Nah, bro, nah, you know it's not a massacre, man. You put your points up, I put counterpoints, man. You know how it is, man. If you look at the thread, yo, Moner, go back and look at this thread. There's a whole bunch where it's just you and me. Nah, take a minute. Take a minute. It's me and you, man. I got only like 2 people on here. I got my boy BCOY and I got my boy Femi Olade. There's 2 of us. There's 2 people in here, man. Nah, I gotta be real. I told you, there's not too many people on here to start with. So, you know. No, but talk to me, bro. Like, what I'm telling you right now is that this argument we're having right now. Listen, man, you told me to watch Uncle Tom film. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna have as much of an open mind as I can, knowing the source. But here's the thing: that film, compared to all the stuff we know, Monair, we know some things right now that Uncle Tom film cannot cover. Americans are dying. Americans are dying. We have a president who just said it is what it is. We have a president who got it wrong. You can't argue your way out of that. Donald Trump got it wrong from day one. He said it was one person and it would disappear. He's still saying it would just disappear one day. Is that a presidential answer to a pandemic? One day it's going to go away. Meanwhile, the death count is rising. No matter what I watch, I'm just telling you right now, bro, whatever I watch will not top what we're experiencing. We're experiencing this real life, bro. This is not theory. We're dealing with this now. Donald Trump's leadership is facing the ultimate test, and he's failing. You cannot you can't excuse this away. You can't excuse it away. That's why he's losing, support among even the Republic. Forget about polls. Mitch McConnell came out about a month and a half ago with a mask talking about everybody should wear masks, knowing Donald Trump didn't want him to say that. Deborah Burks just came out and saying, nah, America's dying. Even though she's been with Donald Trump behind him, when they cut Fauci out, she was the only one left. She had to come out and say, nah, Fauci's right, we're dying. Bro, that's not polls. Those are people that work for him. You know this. Defending this man doesn't work because real life will crush it. It will crush the defense. There's a lot of people I've been arguing with about Donald Trump since he became president, since before he became president. I don't have to argue anymore. I don't have to argue anymore. Real life is taking care of that. And if by some miracle he wins the next term, then, it just goes to show that, reasoning and rational thought, all that stuff is dead because self-preservation alone requires you to vote against this man. Vote him out just to stay alive. Just to stay alive, Trump has to go. If Trump doesn't go, we don't have a shot. They're projecting 300,000 by December. I hope they're wrong. They better be wrong. Ooh, I hope they're wrong. 300,000 dead Americans by December. Jesus, please let them be wrong. Those are people. Those are families. 150,000, over 150,000 dead. They haven't even had time to mourn, bro. Those people can't even mourn because you can't go near them. Can't have your funerals. You can't even say goodbye properly. We have not even begun to deal with the aftermath of this loss. Talking about Donald Trump and his policies. The man had a policy to get rid of the pandemic team that was helping us watch for pandemics all over the world. He got rid of him. The head of that team came on C-SPAN, testified that he and his team were being removed and he doesn't know why. And then the pandemic struck and we had no one on the wall. Come on now. These policies are killing us. Any attempt to sanitize him and rehabilitate him will fail in this moment because everything he has built is crumbled. It's crumbled. The house of cards that Donald Trump built is crumbling. Ooh, and where have we seen it before? In all of his businesses. That's it. This is it. The pattern repeats. He comes off flair, flash, pageantry, like he's got something to offer. Fast forward a few months, and he's declaring bankruptcy. America's going into bankruptcy, bro. Courtesy of the new president, Donald Trump. That's just the math of it. We don't have to argue anymore. I'm having this debate with you. You're my brother, we good like that. But outside of this conversation, real life is confirming everything I've been saying about this dude. He doesn't know a thing. He never did. And everything you want to give him credit for, understand that that's not the full story. Second of all, some of the people who are responsible for that are now no longer working for him. And go listen to them and ask them what happened while they were there, helping him do the things that he got done. Don McGahn was a lawyer who did not carry out Donald Trump's instruction to fire Mueller. I was upset when I heard that story because I said, oh, please let Trump be Trump. Let him be great. People kept protecting him from himself. He gave an order to fire Mueller, but Don McGahn ignored it. That's what's saving Donald Trump. People ignore his worst orders. His worst instincts are not allowed to really flourish. In the Corona era, they've been allowed to flourish. We see finally what it looks like when Trump is the one in charge. He picked Mike Pence for the coronavirus task force, but he couldn't stand that Mike Pence would get the attention, so he took over. Because that's what he's more concerned about. Did you hear what he said when he said he was bringing back the task force? He said they were getting good ratings. People like them, they're very popular. That's why he brought back the coronavirus task force. He didn't say he's bringing it back because people need it. He didn't say because we want Americans to, nah, good ratings. Come on, how do you defend that? And you're going to tell me that that's just rhetoric and policy? No, the rhetoric is derived from his mindset on policy. He's the same guy who told his people testing wasn't important. That's why we're now still begging people to like help us get tests. He'd never believed in testing. He never believed that, the masks. He thought masks looked bad on him. So he made it a thing that, you don't have to wear it if you don't want to. That was the whole bottom line discussion of masks. The day he was reading out the coronavirus guidelines from his own task force, when he read the part where they said masks are advised for everyone, he injected his own thought that they're not compulsory. You don't have to do it. I'm not going to do it. Remember that? Bro, we're not going to forget stuff that we're here for. So there is no world in which you're going to excuse Donald Trump from his failings. And when you say Donald Trump is going to get 20% of the black vote, I don't doubt it, because I feel there's a contrarian who just want to do the opposite to prove a point. I'll be surprised by it, because now studies are coming out that he lied about the fact that children are immune to corona, and studies are coming out that the black community, the black children, are more susceptible to corona than their non-black counterparts. That's happening. That's math. And I tell you this, you can't argue. Munir, I'm not even going to talk to you about Obama spying on Trump campaign, because it didn't happen, and we know that. And every time Trump comes out with the explosive revelation, we never see it. Bro, where is it? Where is it? They've been investigating this since Trump came into office. Come on, man. Come on. No evidence. Barack Obama, here's the thing about Trump. Barack Obama never needed to spy on Trump. You understand this? Trump was bad all by himself. Trump was bad all by himself. There was nothing you needed to know about Trump you didn't know just by listening to him. America voted for him in spite of that, because they did a good job. All the things that I counted about Hillary, and in addition to her errors in her campaign, in addition to efforts against her, in addition to baggage she carried as Hillary and the wife of Bill for all those years, all those things came together to make it impossible to keep it from winning. But Donald Trump did not win a mandate. He didn't win the popular vote. So Donald Trump was known to be, a problem and a puppet. That was not an issue. Barack Obama did not need to spy on him. Donald Trump spied on himself every day. There was nothing. Donald Trump invited the Russians to come and find him Hillary emails on TV. The only thing is, a lot of people thought he was joking, so they didn't take him seriously. Why would you spy on someone who's just out here telling us everything he's doing? He's not smart enough to hide. When he tries to hide stuff, it blows up. Don't go with that, man. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. If Barack Obama wanted to spy on Donald Trump, to defeat him in the election. Do you know what would have happened before the election day? There would have been an announcement that Donald Trump's campaign was under investigation for colluding with the Russians. Shh, no one did that. Bro, that's like saying Barack Obama, sent people to find dirt on Donald Trump to defeat him, but then he didn't do it. He didn't use it. It's contradictory. It's contradictory. That in itself is your first clue that there's a problem. There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Number one. Number two, the FBI and all those forces before this new era where Donald Trump turned them into the enemy, they were never considered pro-democratic party. That's the whole history of this country, this modern political era. The law enforcement, FBI, CIA, they were preserves of the conservatives. That was the whole thing about them. Until this man came in and every FBI agent said, oh my God, what is this? He's the one who's turned them into like rubbish. He has attacked them so much they don't even know who they are. So Barack Obama's ability to spy on Donald Trump was very limited because Barack Obama himself was operating, guess what? Under Republican Congress. Come on now. Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, all of them, you think under those guys, Barack Obama would have been able to spy on Donald Trump without a congressional hearing? Think about it, bro. They put Hillary in the chair for 11 hours on Benghazi. They went after Eric Holden fast and furious. Obama was available for anything that they wanted to investigate him on. This is the thing I'm telling you about, a little bit of truth sprinkled in to create a big web of lies. Donald Trump was not spied upon by Barack Obama. Look, I don't even have time, bro. Do you remember that the Republicans had a whole thing about a memo to explain how the FBI illegally spied and to expose how the Steele dossier was the basis? Do you remember that, what's his name from Florida, the congressman, Donald Trump's errand boy? Do you remember that he had a whole hearing and released a memo? Do you know why that memo died after he released it and it was supposed to be this big explosive thing? Do you know why it just fizzled away? Because inside the memo, it confirmed that the warrants they used for questioning and for all those things were gotten from the FISA courts legally. The challenge they had to the FISA courts was that they said that the FBI had used illegal information to collect it from the FISA courts, which later they discovered was not the case. That memo itself died. It died, bro. What you're telling me right now was tried as a memo. It was tried as a congressional a press conference. It didn't work because there's no basis. That's why these things keep falling through, bro. That's why no one has been arrested. That's why the FBI think about this, bro. The DOJ under William Barr declined to prosecute, what's his name? Oh, man, I'm forgetting my names. The FBI director, James Comey, they declined to prosecute him. McCabe, they declined to prosecute him. Are you listening to this? This is Donald Trump's DOJ, his best buddy, Bill Barr. He has declined to arrest or prosecute any guys in the FBI. Bro, bro, so glow. Look at you, man. You thought you were the only one with that hair, that luxurious dread. Get out of here with that, man. The juices and berries from Zamunda in the tabernacle. Nah, but bro, man, let's get real though. Bill Barr has declined to arrest, charge because he can't do it. They can't find it. I mean, like, I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised because I was sure they were going to at least arrest someone and charge him. And I still think they will because as the elections are coming up, they need something. So I'm sure they're going to bring somebody up on charges. They have to, bro. Just like you're saying, they're making too much noise about Barack Obama. They had the Fox News 2 months ago had this explosive news report, and they were interviewing Donald Trump and said, how do you feel now that it's been exposed, all the people involved? And that fizzled out. You know why? Because in the reporting that they themselves were giving out, they slipped up and confessed that it was run like normal to do that everything that was done, that Flynn wasn't unmasked because he was named in the report. You don't unmask something that's not wearing a mask. All of that failed. All of it failed because it's not true. The Durham report came out, and that's my point. In the Durham report, bro, everything they put on there, speculation, no one. And the people that they're going to be charging are going to mount defenses. Let's calm down. This happened when Flynn was released. You know, I was talking about some of my other boys who are also like inclined to believe Trump and stuff like that. And they called me out. They said, because before I said, look, I won't believe that Flynn is innocent or that he was cajoled until a court says that, you know, he's innocent. Boom. When the DOJ withdrew their case against Flynn, you know, listen, when the DOJ withdrew their case against Flynn, those boys of mine, they called me out. They said, bro, come and see this. Didn't we tell you that Flynn is going to be found exonerated? Do you know what I did? I apologized and I said, congrats to Flynn. I apologize for not believing that he'd be exonerated. I did that knowing that it wasn't over yet. Because the thing with this system is you have to wait until there's like a final arbitration. What's happening? The judge who wants to investigate the DOJ's withdrawal of Flynn's conviction and Flynn's prosecution has won in the appeals court to have that case heard as to why he should be allowed to challenge William Barr and the DOJ as to why they pulled back the prosecution of Flynn. Now, this is me joining my friends celebrating that Flynn has been exonerated and DOJ has pulled back, but I know in my mind it's not over. And here we are. So William Barr and the DOJ have to come to court at some point and explain why they withdrew Flynn's case, even though Flynn had pled guilty and confessed to the crime twice. This is what I'm talking about with these things. A dash of truth does not conclude the matter. Durham report, look, abuse of power is always bad. And I don't even doubt that Barack Obama abused power in some way. You know why? Just being president of the United States, you have to push back. That's why I don't blame Trump sometimes when he pushes back. People get on Trump for pushing back. No, it's survival. It's self-defense. The problem is when you push back, try and make sure it's a legal way of pushing back. Don't push back illegally. The reason Barack Obama was never brought up on any abuse of power charges because Barack Obama made sure that he did most of the things he did by the book. That's the problem Trump is having in framing Barack Obama. Yeah. Bro, look, you're saying that Judge Sullivan was being fishy. What's fishy? Let me now talk to you as an attorney, bro, as a prosecutor, somebody who was in DA's office. I've never seen this before, Manera. I've never seen it. Maybe it's happened and I don't have enough experience. When somebody pleads guilty twice to a felony, do you know what happens when you plead guilty? You have to read out your crime. You have to read out your crime, Manera. This guy read out his crime and said, this is what I did. He has pled guilty. His conviction has been sealed. And then he says, we're going to reverse the case against it. Bro, that's fishy stuff. That's why Sullivan has a leg to stand on. That's why the larger court of appeals says, yes, they'll listen because it is fishy. Whether or not Sullivan has an axe to grind is different from whether or not he has a leg to stand on. He has a leg to stand on. It was fishy when the DOJ did it. That's why prosecutors resigned when they did that, bro. Come on. You don't find that fishy? There's a lot of black people in jail who would love the opportunity to have their case withdrawn after they've pled guilty and they started their jail sentence. Come on now. That doesn't happen. It does not happen. That's the more fishy thing to worry about. If that didn't worry you, but you're worried about Sullivan pushing it, then you're not being consistent. The more fishy thing is to fish someone out of jail and reverse their case. And especially if they're the president's friend. Come on. You know, like you said, we'll find out. We'll find out. But that's, as we find out the truth, we need to lay out what we already know. You know, we know what we know. If Michael Flynn was not the president's friend, he's not getting this treatment. We know that because a lot of people are in jail who would love the opportunity to explain themselves and why they lied to the FBI and why they shouldn't go to be convicted for that, and have the FBI or the DOJ say, all right, cool, yeah, we shouldn't have prosecuted you. There was a few people who prosecuted you, we don't like how they went about it. Bro, a lot of people want that treatment. Nobody's getting that. Michael Flynn is getting that because of who he is. That's the fishy thing. He just pardoned his boy, Stone. That's not fishy. It's all about perspective at this point. But the truth will out. The truth will out. And I tell you once again, the reason why they keep trying to do this thing with Barack Obama, it's not working, is because Barack Obama is a little too smart for that. Because I'm not even defending Barack Obama's motives because I don't know, but I'm saying that his process was by the book. That's why you can't catch nothing. That's why you can't catch nothing. And Durham, all Durham can do is explore errors, explore suspicious activity. But he can't say they did X, Y, Z, so they should go to jail. Because them cats, they read books. They read the law and they do research before they do stuff. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a day dedicated to having this conversation. You know, I know like it's a little different, but I love that. I love that my boy came out. I have not spoken to Monet in a long time. I love this exchange because, you know, we got to call each other out, you know, keep ourselves honest. And I love that. I love that because, you know, and he's right. You can be in a bubble, you can be in an echo chamber and not know what's out there and think that your perspective and what you see is really the only thing to be seen. But then someone comes up and gives you like strong points and you have to stand up, oh, wow, and you got to check it out. And that's why, you know, I have more than one person on my list who do that for me, who call me out, challenge me. One of my brothers challenged me at the beginning of this virus that, oh, I was getting so hard on Trump, but I was not saying nothing. I wasn't saying anything about Cuomo and de Blasio and how they were slow in their response to New York's problem and how I'm putting all the blame on the president. And I had to admit to him, like, you're right. De Blasio and Cuomo had things that they did wrong. Even de Blasio, you know, had to walk back some things he said. But I said the difference between those two guys is, number one, the scale at which they're expected to perform is much smaller than the president. They're operating a state, local. The president is federal. This is a federal problem. It needs a federal response. I said that back, I think it was March, April. I said, if you don't handle this nationally, you're going to be handling it state by state, and it will never end. That's what's happening now. I said that. I said it was a pin fishing. You push it down here, it pops up over there, unless you do a whole nation approach. And now we're talking about one state being free and one state picking it up. That was obvious to me. I don't know why you would ever go with a world where, you know, the president doesn't care enough to say, I'm going to have a national solution and throw it out to the states. If your state does well on corona, the next state may not. And those people in that state may come to your state. Somebody told me yesterday, there's mad Texas and Florida license plates in New York right now. You know, people fleeing to New York because New York is now like relatively okay. That's what happens when you don't have a national response. And so I argued with that brother that day, and I said, look, I accept that the mayor and the governor bear responsibility, but there's a main difference. At least for the mayor, he came back and he reversed himself and he acknowledged that, yeah, he could have done more earlier. Donald Trump never does that. That's the difference. He never accepts it. He never admits when he's wrong. So you can't apologize on his behalf. You can't do it. If he doesn't think he's done wrong, you can't apologize. Bro, people come to New York because New York is doing good. New York is doing good right now for COVID. You think people want to be in Florida right now? Yo, Trump has had 4 years to dig out the truth. I'm telling you, if Barack Obama spied on Donald Trump, the proof should have been available by now. We should not be talking about the Durham investigation. We should be talking about the Durham indictment. Somebody, I said, when one of my boys said, they find the truth about Obama spying now. And I put that sarcastically. I said, ooh, I can't wait for them to put them cuffs on that boy. Like, that Barack Obama's going to jail. Come on, let's go. I can't wait. I said it as a joke because I know that's not happening. They're not even putting Susan Rice in cuffs. I mean, James Comey out here doing interviews, bro. all the villains of this so-called drama are out here chilling under William Barr DOJ, under Donald Trump's presidency. If there was something to pick these guys up for, man, look, and I'm saying they can still pick them up tomorrow. But right now, I'm still waiting. And even if they pick them up, just like in the Flynn case, I'm going to wait. I've learned to wait because there's some things that are not worth arguing. They just wait. A month ago, I'll finish now, bro. A month ago, bro, the declassification is not what held this up. Because even classified documents were available to all these people. You're talking about an investigation by the DOJ. They had access. No. You're talking about Donald Trump getting impeached on the first day COVID hit. No, bro. COVID is not something that happened because Donald Trump was impeached. Don't even try that one. Impeachment was done. Plus, impeachment was never an issue. Bro, COVID had nothing to do with impeachment. It was they were doing the removal hearing in the Senate. He wasn't even involved, bro. His boy Mitch McConnell already gave him the green light that ain't nobody removing you from office. Ain't nobody arresting you. He knew that. What are you talking about? Impeachment was done by December. We're talking about COVID coming in February, March. What are you talking about? For COVID, impeachment was not an issue for COVID, bro. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on, man. Munir, come on, you be fair. Come on. Impeachment, COVID? I'm not getting into the fact that Bill Clinton did a whole bunch of stuff while he was being impeached and about to be removed. I'm not getting into that. Oh, come on. You see, you're not being real. I just give you an example. Answer that. Bill Clinton was passing bills and changing all kinds of, was doing his work when he was being impeached. Answer that. No, answer that. Impeachment stopped Donald Trump from doing stuff on COVID. Or impeachment was still on in January. Impeachment was still on in February, March, April, when he was saying it was going to go away. It was because of impeachment that Donald Trump said it was go away. It was because of impeachment that Donald Trump said it was only one person coming in from China. Come on, bro. Femi, yo. Nah. But I'm fighting you on this one, bro. You're my man. I'm fighting you on this one. Come on now. Impeachment stopped Donald Trump from declaring a national emergency in February. Impeachment stopped Donald Trump from saying we should all wear masks. Impeachment is the reason that Donald Trump went to India and started telling them we got it under control. It was because of impeachment. Wasn't it during impeachment that he traveled? Wasn't it during impeachment that he was trying to finish his deal with China? Bro. Come on now. Nah. No. Everything else I've been arguing with you. This one is a fight because it's too obvious, bro. Come on, man. Every president in the world was going through something when COVID hit. You kidding me? We're talking about January, February, March, when this brother was still talking about it's going to go away. He's still saying it's going to go away. Is impeachment the reason why he's still saying that? Nah, you need to do better. You need to do better on this one. There's no way. Everybody and their mama know that was not the reason. COVID. Impeachment? The impeachment that was done in the House way before December. Don't forget, you're talking about the impeachment as if the trial in the Senate was an impeachment trial. The trial in the Senate was for removal. Everybody and their mama knew what the outcome was before it started. Mitch McConnell wasn't going to remove Donald Trump. Donald Trump knew Mitch wasn't going to remove him. Come on now. Donald Trump was never in danger of removal in December. He knew it. McConnell knew it. McConnell had promised him. Mane, I know you watch other things than Fox News. I know that. But I'm telling you right now, kill that. Kill that. Come on, this is just me and you. Just come on, man. Look, life is chronology, right? You know what? I'm gonna finish this right now with a quick search because we're having this conversation. Impeachment was done. Impeachment was done before even the removal hearing, right? Impeachment was done before removal hearing. We're talking about by December, impeachment was over. COVID started raging late February, early March. 1, 2, memos have come out showing that Donald Trump was informed of COVID by his boys. They told him to the extent Alex Azar, the health secretary, gave him a memo telling him that China was lying about their containment of COVID. Every other nation knew it. His boys knew it. They told him. He was still telling China was doing a good job because he still wanted his trade deal. We know this. This was all happening in our faces. Donald Trump didn't have to go to the hearing for the impeachment. His lawyers were doing it. He just watched it on TV. Impeachment vote. January 31st was the vote by the House. The impeachment was already done by the Senate. Senate was never going to convict him. Everybody and their mama knew it. As a matter of fact, they said they didn't want to hear from John Bolton. They said they didn't want to hear from anyone. They were going to do it and get ready to run for election. No, you got to come stronger than that. Nah, Manera, there's no way. There's no way. Impeachment did not stop Donald J. Trump from announcing a national emergency in February, from asking his experts what to do, from beginning to have a national response, from enforcing a national shutdown in March when New York was going through it. He was busy running around. He had a task force he set up, bro. His task force could have handled that, but he undermined them. Dr. Fauci didn't start working, later. Dr. Fauci had started with that task force. And he's been telling us stuff. Even when Dr. Fauci wasn't sure, he said he wasn't sure about things because that was the whole point of the virus. It came in like a storm. Nobody knew much at the beginning. As they knew more, they started to deal with it. You're going to give Donald Trump a pass because of impeachment? He didn't even have to do anything in impeachment. Dershowitz and his lawyers were in the Senate. And they all knew what the outcome was. Everybody knew what the outcome was. Donald Trump was safe. Manera, he blocked travel from China. The COVID that came to New York came from Europe. Again, incompetence. Your boy can't read. Your boy's dumb. This is the problem I have. This is the problem I have. How can Trump cure cancer? He doesn't know how to spell or how to pronounce Yosemite. He's intellectually deficient. This is you dodging around this issue. There's a drug right now that does better work than chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine. It's remdesivir. Better results, less side effects, more powerfully supported. All Trump has to do is support that. But you know what he's doing? Because he's tied to hydroxychloroquine, he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong. So he keeps talking about hydroxy. And there's another drug that's doing better. It can work on making it cheaper, produce more of it. They've even ordered it, but he's not going to tell you that. No. Look, bro. Look, listen. I can bring you on next week. We can have a video chat. I've had people on here that disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, that thing about the impeachment being the reason that Trump was distracted from handling COVID, oh, that's a big old excuse, man. That's just, and plus that's also saying he can't handle two things at once, which still proves the point, even if I went with you on that. Yeah, no, Monero. So let's talk about it right now. Monero. Next, I think my next Friday show is gonna be me and you, and I'm gonna send you Monero. He's accomplished what? He inherited mad millions from his dad. Every economist says if he invested the money his dad gave him and just sat back on a lounge, he would make more than he has now. Yo, Femi, yeah, let's do that. Yo, Monero, me, you, and Femi. Well, Monero's gonna look at you, but ganging up. But I don't know. Monero's strong. He's a big boy. He's taller than me, so I'm fine. So I'm short. So I'm gonna have Femi to back me up. Monero, let's do this, man. Next week Friday, I'm gonna call you up, and we're gonna have it like it's gonna be lively. Plus, I haven't seen you in a while anyway, so it's my chance to see you. But Monero, let's talk about it, man. You know what? Because you bring up points where I've heard it, and like you said, I like the fact that you bring it up. A lot of people have those thoughts and they don't say it because they think people are gonna like. But I want to engage. I want to engage with facts and figures. I want to come in. I had some stuff that I brought up today about the numbers that we argued about before the show. When we had this conversation before the show, and we're talking about how unemployment, black unemployment is one of the things that people talk about. They said black unemployment is down under Trump, and I've heard that a lot of times. And let me tell you this: I wish there was more opportunity to talk about this stuff. Black unemployment is tied to regular unemployment. It's a trick. It's a trick. Regular unemployment is high. Black unemployment is always high, right? Regular unemployment is down. Black unemployment is down. So someone who now tells you as if he's doing something special for the black community, that's why the unemployment rate is down, is missing the whole mark. Is missing the whole mark. It's like it's not the case, but it's hard. It's hard this conversation because it's nuanced and it feels like you just. I have charts I was going to show you about that, man. Barack Obama took over. Black unemployment was 10%. By the time he left, he brought it down to 6. Donald Trump is bringing it down to 4 when the regular unemployment is going down to 3. Black employment always is worse than the general unemployment. They do worse than their counterparts because of the history. We know this. So if someone is now saying black employment is the lowest it's ever been, how about we give credit to the guy who brought it from 10% to 4? Why would we demonize somebody who brought black employment like 6 points lower, but then we want to have a parade for a guy who's touting the fact I've done more for the black community? Oh, really? Because you brought the unemployment rate of black community from 6 to 5, and that you didn't do that like deliberately. That just came down because the rest of the economy is on a trajectory that Barack Obama put it on. And I'm still giving you credit for that. But the credit I'm giving you is for that 1% change. You don't get to say you've done more for the black community than anybody else because you continued somebody's recovery. That's what I mean by giving him credit for stuff that it's like, I don't understand how you do that. The bar is so low, man. If this guy doesn't urinate in public, like they clap for him for being decent. That's what's going on. He can't read English, he can't spell, he can't say words properly, but they give him a pass on all of that. He inherits millions from his father. He goes bankrupt on 5 or 6 times. His businesses crumble. He's in debt. Deutsche Bank is giving him money so he can keep appearances. But we're going to pretend like he's a great businessman. And as if all of that isn't bad enough, he's mismanaged COVID, and we're going to say it's because he was impeached in January. That's too much. That's setting the bar too. He shouldn't be president. He shouldn't be. If he cannot handle being challenged and impeached in the House, at the same time doing his job of protecting Americans, that is the definition of incompetence. That means he cannot be president. You just prove it. Monel, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find one of my other brothers who's exactly on your page, another strong brother. I'm gonna see if it's available. I'm gonna have it. We're gonna have a four-way screen. We're gonna try to keep it as late as we can. I know it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be bananas. And you know what? I might use this for my face for my YouTube channel launch. Woo! I'm excited now. Monet, I want to thank you because you came in this morning and you checked the whole Femi, yo. Be still why I'm gonna make noise about this episode. It's gonna be next Tuesday. I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna do the thing. All right. Yeah, but listen, don't forget the reason why we can do this. I believe I love it. I'm the kind of brother who wants to have a conversation on Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And at the end of that conversation, I want to be able to say to the person that I've disagreed with, good to see you, brother. How you doing, man? You talk to me when we're going to do barbecues. I love that. I love that because that means that no matter who's president, no matter what era we're in, we can always have that conversation. I think that's grown up, and I love that, man. I appreciate everybody on there, man. Monet, you're the man. Yo, I go out, Bridget. You bring the fire, youth. How's the family, bro? I seen your pictures with the family, man. Look like everybody's taller than me. You did that. You did that. I'm mad at you. You know. Yeah, BCOY, man. Trump supporters talk about how accomplished he is, but he has no support in New York because we know him better, right? That's what's going on. We're in Queens. We don't like him. We know his story. But the rest of the world, everyone that supports him, they see something different. That's fine. Do you. But it's going to be lit. Femi's in the building. Pastor Femi Lade. Like now, when they say pastor, Femi is not just a pastor. Femi handles mathematics and money. He's not a normal person. Femi Lade is not normal. It's unusual. I've always worried about him. Because, you know, geniuses are a different breed of people. They are not normal. And usually socially awkward. Femi is different. You know, he's a nerd, but he's also cool. I don't know how he does it, Femi. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. Because you're not the most handsome in the house. Because Dayo is handsome. Bakule is handsome. But you're okay. But the fact that you're a genius and you're still cool, I think you managed to do something most people cannot. All right, we're gonna see Monet. We're gonna see what's going on. Let's bet. It's a 20% in November for Donald Trump. You do realize it's like August now, so you need to work hard, brother. Get your people together. And please just join me in prayer that more people, we don't have death tolls of 200,000 and stuff going towards December. Because I'm telling you, that will make every other thing we're discussing sound like rubbish. That's my thing. It's every other thing will be nothing. We continue to pray that people are safe. Please, America, let's come together. Let's figure out. We need to come out of this. We need to get rid of this corona thing. We don't want no more death. No more death, please. I'm done. Too many people lost. The people we know, people we don't know, but whose families are suffering. It's too much. And we need a solution. And they're working on vaccines. Oh, it's too much, but we continue to pray and we hope. It's your boy JFK, man. This episode went mad long, but it was mad good. And hopefully we're gonna do something big on this one by next week, Friday. Woo, I can't wait. I'm gonna put the flyers out. I'm gonna email everybody. Yeah, man. Look, Monet, you're the man. Listen, I know you're still singing. Send me a video of you singing, bro. Monet's got that voice, man. That voice. Me and Monet were in the musical group in university. We call ourselves Justified. I'm gonna get the band back together, Monet. I'm gonna get the band back together. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Femi Lade. Always a pleasure. BCOY in the building. My people's always showing up. We're gonna see. Bros KK, I hear you, Jari. You know, it's a big battle we are having here. We'll overcome. We'll survive. Yeah, Kathy in the building. I'll see you guys later. Ladies and gentlemen, till the next time we talk, it's your boy GFK. Peace, love, be good. One.